think I'm a prince, I'm feeling myself. I'm loaded with bills, cause I wasn't blessed with no Uncle Phil.
Alright, yo guys, what's up? My name is Willie. I'm a competitive Siege player. I've been playing competitive Siege since the start of year 3. I moved from console to PC at the end of year 2, season 4. And then, like I just said, I started playing competitively year 3. I've played and won mini Go 4s, been in mini tournaments. I've been diamond mini seasons. I've also almost made seal. I've been placed very high in seal quals. And I'm going to try to give you guys some tips and my insight into how to learn to control recoil and how to learn to find the perfect sensitivity that I used a long time ago to help me become a better player. Alright, so for sensitivity, an easy thing that I would suggest starting to try to do, and this is what I did on anything, is to go into your settings and switch your ADS to 83. Okay, 83. And the reason I'm saying this is because 83 makes it to where your ADS is a 1-to-1 ratio with all scopes besides ACOG with your hipfire. So what this means is that your ADS will be the same sensitivity as your hipfire, so you can build muscle memory really quick with this. What I would recommend is starting it at about, I play on 800 DPI, so I would start about 8 on 800 DPI or 16 on 400 DPI and make 83 as your ADS sense. And then try to find a good sensitivity with this. Now, when you start with that, what I would do is go find a wall, make a dot head level, then make a box around it. And then I would try to find a sensitivity and just lower it up until you could trace the dot with both your hipfire and your ADS. And when you can do this, that means that you've found a good sensitivity for being able to trace. Let me go back to my sensitivity really quick. And the reason I say this is because when you want to do it with your hipfire like this and your ADS, so imagine you turning a corner, right? You don't ADS through the wall unless you know somebody's there and you pre-fire, you know? You don't ever do this. You don't pick a corner like this. Because if you do this, somebody could be over there holding an angle, and you're going to do this and not see them, and they're going to kill you unless you hit a nasty flick and you shoot and flick them. Which most of the time, they already have the angle, so that's not going to happen, you know what I mean? So what you want to do is you want to try to find a good sensitivity so you can learn to find a corner like this and learn to go around the corner. Because when you peek, you want to be able to peek and you want to be able to trace like this. So if there is somebody up there, you can flick up there and kill them instead of having to do this. Flick all the way over there, you know what I mean? So one more thing for sensitivities really quick, because sensitivity is pretty easy. And I would just do that every time you go into a T-hunt, and I would suggest doing T-hunt because you can get infinite ammo. I would do this on whatever operators you want to main and you want to learn. So I wouldn't do this on every operator. I would only do these on ops you want to learn, like Ash, Buck, Sledge, etc. That's what I did. Anyway, so the higher your ADS, the easier it is to control recoil. Like, the less you have to pull down for your spread. So, like, right now, you can see I'm barely moving my head at all, and I'm not even pulling down at all hardly with 83. Now, I'll go back down to my low sensitivity on 47. Now, watch my hand now. I had to pull down way more than I did on 83 to control the recoil. But I feel this is more consistent in my opinion. This is how I play the game. This is how I've always played the game. Even on console, I used a pretty slow sensitivity. It's just preference. What I personally think is that you should start off with a fast sensitivity and try to lower it more than try to start off with low sensitivity and up it. Because that makes it a lot easier for you to decide what you want to play. I personally would suggest trying to play ARM with a mouse because it'll make you more consistent as a player. I feel like more consistent than wrist players. And yes, there are consistent wrist players. It just is a lot harder to be more consistent and a lot harder to build muscle memory as a wrist player just because it's a lot faster. With arm, you can move your whole arm and it makes micro adjustments a lot easier than playing wrist, and it makes you a lot more consistent because you can build muscle memory really quick because you know exactly how and where to move your arm on your mouse pad. That also comes, like I said earlier, with finding the correct sensitivity. So you'll know how far to swipe your mouse and etc. Okay, so on to recoil now. When I started playing on console a long time ago, what I used to do was I would go into a T-hunt and I would do this right here. I would aim at the bottom of the fence right here and I would always AD it and just shoot up. I'd shoot a whole mag on the fence. So you can, this way, I would do this with whatever option you want to control and whatever option you want to learn recoil for. I would go, so you see it starts and it goes up to the right, and it is, when it hits a certain amount, it'll go to the left and then go back to the right, to the left, to the right, all the way back up. a lot of guns do this. When you hit a certain amount of bullets, the recoil jumps. That one bullet really won't change how much your recoil, like, so if you only pull down and to the left, because this goes up to the right, so you would want to pull the opposite, which would be down to the left. If you don't go a little to the right, it's not going to hurt your recoil very much. So you would go down to the right, and it would be, you know, so that it goes up to the right, down to the left. And if it goes up to the left, you would be down to the right. You know what I mean? Pretty common sense stuff. And the more you do this with more operators, the more and the easier it'll become to learn. And when you build muscle memory with it, it'll become like boom, boom, second nature. You know, you'll be playing in a game and you won't even have to think about your recoil control. You know, I would suggest going to a T-Hunt every day before you play and taking a couple hours, especially if you're new to Siege period or you're switching from console to PC. Take an hour or so, maybe even 30 minutes, you know, just take some time, however much time you feel is needed, and go into a T-Hunt and practice and learn the recoil patterns. Because when you learn the recoil patterns, this game becomes instantly easier. You'll know and you'll build muscle memory, so when you go into a ranked game or a competitive match, for instance, you won't have to be thinking, oh, the recoil, I don't have to think about that. You know, you won't be thinking about that. You'll be thinking, oh, you know, more along the lines of what you're doing and how you're playing and what your decision making is. You won't have to worry about thinking about recoil, you know. So it helps a lot to go to like T-Hunts and just, you know, practice your recoil. Because the more you do it, I guarantee you, if you take a time out of your day before you play every single day, whether you're on console or PC, doesn't matter, and you go into a T-Hunt and you do this or before you play for about an hour every day for a week, you will improve. It helped me, and it helps a lot of other people do stuff too. I've had a lot of friends that I've had do this, and it helps them a lot. And, you know, they've gotten diamond multiple seasons with me as well. You know, I've gave them my training and what I used to do, and I try to get them tips and help them. So I feel like this is an easy way, and this is just my opinion. A lot of people don't do this. A lot of people have their own methods of training and like practicing, you know what I mean? But I feel like this is my easiest way that I learned, and it only took me a couple of months of mastering it. You know, this can take you a week to learn, but to master it's a whole different story. It can take months, you know, and you want to play it to get better. So if you just take the time out of your day to learn to play the game and just to get better, I promise you will improve and do other things like that. You know, and with practicing the recoil, you'll get everything down. Same thing with sensitivity, like I was explaining earlier. You know, you just want to do this for a couple hours in T-Hunt if you can. If you have enough time and you feel the need, like if you feel comfortable with what you're doing, you know, I'll do this. All right, so on to the last thing that I want to talk about for recoil, and then probably the last topic period would be attachments. So flash hider, most of the time is, especially if you're learning recoil, is the best attachment in the game, 100% hands down. It'll help you with the recoil. It makes your recoil very, very simple, very, very easy to do. Muzzle brake is up there right next to flash hider. The only reason I'll say it's better is because a lot of people like to use flash hider, including myself, which muzzle is very good. What muzzle does is it makes your first bullet accuracy instant, which I'm using flash on Ash, which a lot of people use muzzle because Ash has 0 recoil. Which will bring me to another thing. If you want to use a gun that has no recoil, say like Sledge, Buck, Ash, stuff like that, you know, use muzzle if you can control the recoil very well, because you get that running first bullet accuracy when you're moving. Muzzle will give you that first bullet accuracy. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So, comp is not very useful in a lot of situations. You only rarely see people use comp on like maybe LMGs or things like, I don't know, things like Thatcher and Sledge's LMG, the L86 for instance. Most of the time people either use comp or muzzle on the L86. Other than that, like, comp's not really useful. So I would suggest trying out flash hider and seeing if you like it. If you can control the recoil and you learn the recoil, I would switch to muzzle on guns that have very little recoil. And yeah, so like I said, I would just go into a T-Hunt, practice this for a little bit and learn how to do it. You know, trace with your crosshair and your sensitivity and learn how to do it in the little dot in the center. And you know, make sure it's at head level. And then I would just do that for a few days, or as long as you feel like I would do this. I still do this sometimes before I play, especially if I'm about to play a tournament or anything like that, or any type of competitive game in Siege. I'll go in here to make sure I'm on, you know, I'm on right. And trust me, it will help you improve, and it will help you just become a better player overall. And thank you guys for watching. I hope maybe my tips will help you, and I hope you guys take this into consideration and at least try it. And let me know if it'll work. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. I also stream on Twitch. I'll have that down in the link below. I stream at certain times during the day, during the night. It just depends. And you'll stop by and say what's up and just give us some views and just come watch and enjoy it. That'd be appreciated. And like I said, guys, hope these tips help you and hope everything goes well and hope you guys have a good day. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace out. Bye-bye.